Today, we are on lesson number 4, week 5. And today we're going to be talking about working with objects. But before we get started working with objects, let's do this here. Let's go over like an image, placing your image in your InDesign document review for a second. I know a lot of you had questions about, placing pictures and getting those resized and having those looking appropriately in your document here. So let me go ahead and jump on the screen here and we will begin. We're going to open up InDesign right now. And we're going to, let's do this here. Let us go back to the Edible Blossom postcard file that we were working with a couple of weeks ago. And we're it's just going to take just a brief moment here just to go over and just to show you and re-emphasize how to actually place an image in a document. So I think the particular lesson was lesson 2, I think it was. And we're going to go to start here. And anytime you have open up a file and it doesn't have the automatic links, you're going to update the modified links here. Okay, so we're at the document right now. And first of all, if you know what picture you're going to be bringing in, you simply go to the file. And this is what every picture you bring in, go to file and place. Or you can hit Control D on your PC. I think it may be a Command D on the Mac. So place your file, and you can send me a picture. And let's make sure we get the right file lesson. I think this big picture dining room was the one that, we're going to be bringing in. So first of all, when you bring it in, a picture is going to ask you, okay, so where do you want to place it at? And so right now, without looking at the picture itself, we don't know how big the picture is. So maybe big, maybe small, unless you've gone and rolled your mouse over the picture and saw the actual size dimensions of it. So in this case, let's just go ahead and just place it down here anywhere. And you see it's like oversized. Now, right now, my file is in preview mode. So we want to take it back to just a normal mode so we can see the pasteboard, which is the gray area right here. So when you have it in preview mode versus normal mode, you can see everything that's on the pasteboard. But in all reality, this is the only part that's going to print out right here. So let's take it to normal mode if you're not in preview mode. If you're in preview mode, so go to normal mode, and we can see. Now we can begin to size our picture now. So the best way to size your picture is when you roll your mouse over the picture itself in the dead center. We're going to click on it first. And it should come up. You should see red lines around the box. That means you can now begin to size the picture. Now, what I like to do is I like to either pull it from the upper right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, or the upper right-hand corner. And to make it proportionate, you would hold Shift so the picture won't move its side, because if you don't hit Shift and you just pull it, drag it anywhere, it's going to make the picture unproportionate. So we do that, undo that, and let's go back right here. Hold your Shift key down. As you see, if you hold your Shift key down, then the picture can become proportionate. Now, I'm going to click off of this, and we still have our bounding box around the picture's blue line right here. So what you want to do about that is you just want to click on the box itself, drag it where it fits the entire picture. Now, as you see, it's overlapping these two images right here, so we can always go back in, do it the same way, and resize it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it to the point where it snaps between this picture and that picture. Then I'm going to click back on the picture itself. So you can either just click it or double click it, and it will automatically have the red lines around here where you can like resize the picture, the actual picture itself. Pull your shift key down, drag it, and as you see now we have the perfect scenario. Click back off of it, drag this borderline where it fits the picture itself. Because sometimes you may want to put a border around the picture, and so then or a stroke around the picture. So if you want to put a stroke around the picture, a lot of times when you're working with objects, if you click on the object itself, all of this is going to tell you everything you need to know about that object, period. So in this case, the picture has no stroke on it. So we double click on here, the stroke itself, and I want to put a black stroke around it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you know the hexadecimal number, click OK. And you can always go in and resize the side of the stroke by going into your panels box right here. And you can decide what stroke it, whatever size, 5 points is going to be really thick. Or you can take it all the way down to 2 points. And if you go crazy with it, you just go to 20 points, it's going to go that big. Take it down to 1 point, which is a nice little size there. So let's do it one more time. I'm going to delete this. And we're going to just insert the picture again. And like I said, this is just review right now. We're going to go to File and Place, or you can hit Control D, choose your picture, and the side of the picture is going to be is 1024 pixels by 682. So you know that in inches, then you know. Select the picture itself. We're going to open, drop the picture in, double click on it. You see the red line right here. Resize the picture by clicking, hold, and drag any corner. Actually, you can hit any corner, but I prefer the lower right hand corner. But if you choose any corner, you hold your shift key down, it still will make the picture proportionate. And I'll just drag it over here. And now I want to resize my bounding box, my border box, to the side of the picture itself. And this takes a lot of zooming in and zooming out in order to, for you to depend on how big your screen is. As you see, it's still not the side I want it to be, so you can always just go back in, double click on it until you see the red lines. Click, hold, and drag. Off of it, click back on the blue bounding box, and we can resize it from there. And like I said, if we still having problems, just trying to go in and resize the picture, just let me know. And like, say, for example, if you just want to put a picture right here as well, use the same process. Go in, File, Place, and let's just choose another picture. Let's just choose one of the pictures we already have existing. Let's choose these herbs right here. Click right here, and we can resize it the same way. Of course, this picture is really, really big. I'm gonna double click on it, set it all the way down. And I want to get my blue box back in here first because it's running off the side of the screen itself. Yeah, my picture's over here. Let me move it back over here. I can move back in once I've gotten the picture down to the nice little reasonable size here. Take it all the way down here. And so what I want to do now is I want to make sure this picture fits in between these two pictures right here. I know it may be a little bit challenging, but make sure you see these red lines in order for you to scale it properly. I'll make it just a little bit smaller here. Click off of it. And I'm gonna click back on it again and pull these lines up. And there you have it. And even with this, you can like even choose to, like I said, if you go dead in the center of the picture, it's going to give you the option to move this picture around the bounding box right there. So you don't want to do that. In order to move it itself, just click anywhere outside the middle, because when it turns your hand right here, you can move the picture inside that bounding box. But if you click anywhere outside that, you can move the whole picture itself. With that being said, hopefully you've got a little bit more clarification as far as how to move and maneuver pictures and drop them in and leave them out and size them and add a border to it. Okay, let us go into our lesson for this week. I'm going to save that. Okay, so our lesson this week is working with objects, and what we want to do is we want to go to our lesson for files. So let's go to lesson 4. And first of all, we're going to work with layers. We're working with layers, of course. So, and let me just introduce you to layers right now. If we look in our lesson 4 folder, and hope you all have downloaded all of your files, you're going to open up O4 layers _ intro. So let's open it up. And let's just navigate around the file itself to just show you a little bit about layers itself. Update modified links means adding all the pictures in there. And now we are good to go as far as, what our layering looks like. Now, as you see, we have objects, we have a phone, we have numbers here, we have text on top of the brown bag with fruit and vegetables in it, and we have text itself. So what we want to do first, we want to go to find our layers. So when we find our layers, we're going to open up and it will show you what layers we're actually working with. This layer right here is phone photo. So this eyeball, in these Adobe products, they work pretty much the same way. They can have different functions and different ways for your use for the particular project. In this case, it's some page layout software. And so most of the time it's going to have layers. Photoshop has layers, InDesign has layers, Adobe Illustrator has layers. And most of these software work where when you're looking at your layers, it has an eye right here. So if you want to make that layer visible or invisible, you would simply click on the eye or uncheck, click on the eye again to not see it. Same thing with the type, which is this right here. See it and unsee it. And this number graphic. And then, of course, the background. So we just want to see the phone photo itself. We just click on this eye, make it visible. Type tool, number graphic, and the background. Now, if you just, so like Photoshop and Illustrator, if you decided that, well, I want the phone on the bottom, simply click on the phone itself, drag it down on the bottom, and now the phone shows behind the other layers. And the layers that you're working with is going to always have the pen. So this is the editable layer right here. So make sure that whichever layer that you're working with, that you're looking at, going to be grayed up, and then you're going to see this pen right here. So that's the current drawing layer right there. Let's say, for example, we want we made a mistake. We want the phone photo layer back up top again. Simply click on and drag it up, and we're good to go on that. We want to make any edits to it. Most of the time, when you select an object, it's going to automatically go down. It's going to select the layer itself that the object is actually on, whether it's a text layer, whether it's a numbers graphic layer or an object layer. So if you want to work with this type layer, not sure if this type is editable, but maybe it is, maybe it ain't. It looks like it is. You can always go in, and as you see, this type layer, you can work with it because it's showing that this layer is able to be manipulated right now. And you can always go in and change whatever you want to change on that particular layer. If not, just leave it like it is. Now, let's say, for example, you want to select mostly everything. You want to select this entire all the objects, all the text on this particular file. If you click, hold, and drag in your upper left-hand corner, and I'll come all the way down, all the layers will be selected, but the only text, only you'll be able to move everything, but we're still working with the type layer. So you can still move things around, per se. Now, say, for example, that you want to move everything around except for the background layer. So in order for you to do the same thing we just did, with select everything, but you don't want the background layer to move, just simply go right here, and it will lock the layer. So when you do select everything, it will not select this background layer right here, and you can still move everything around, like so. And if you don't want to move the graphic layer around, you can lock that one, the number graphic. You just want to move just these three, you can do that as well. So that is pretty much in a nutshell as far as how the layers will apply to our next lesson that we'll be working on. And so what I will do is we're going to get to the lesson itself, and we're going to close this out without saving it and go to the lesson itself. So the lesson we'll be working on this week, and this week will be a weekly assignment that I'm going to go through some of the things, but not everything, because what I want you to do is to go in, work the file based on the instructions that are in the book, convert to a PDF, and then send it to me as your grade course assignment. So let's go to the actual lesson itself. We're going to go to open, and we're going to go to start. And this is what we're working with right now, update the modified links. It's going to be a four-page newsletter. Four-page newsletter. And we're going to be in most of it's like I already created. So we're going to be going through working with many of these elements, manipulating them, changing them around, just showing you and just to get this thing completed. So right now it is in normal mode. And as we see, we have some objects over here on the pasteboard. But if you have it in preview mode, you won't be able to see those objects or select them. But go ahead and make sure that your document is in normal mode, because we're going to need some of these objects and these elements from the pasteboard. And notice too that you see the background layer right here, how it hangs over the edge. So that's considered, it's called a bleed. So if you put it in normal mode, you won't see how it's hanging over. It's still a bleed. The ink is still going to the edge of the page. But in preview mode, you won't be able to see it hanging over the edge. Let's make sure we get it back in normal mode. And what we also want to do, we want to open up our layers, and let's see how this is structured right now. So we have two layers right here. We have a graphics layer and we have a text layer. So if we check the visibility box right here, the eye, and we don't want to see the graphic, we will click right here, and all the graphics will go away. And we click the text, all the objects will go away. Now, of course, there's a background um, graphic right here. If we want to, let's say, for example, we want to take this background and put it on another layer, we can always simply go in and create a new layer for this. And the way we would create a new layer, we will go right here where these three lines are, click, and there's going to be a drop down menu and put new layer. And it's going to ask you, do you want to name this layer? You're like, of course. I want to name it background. And I'm just I'm just kind of going through things right now, just to give you kind of like a head start and just go through and show you how it's going to actually work. Um, we want the background layer right now. It's actually over the text. So if we move this layer right now, it's going to be over parts of the text. Well, you know what I actually did? I actually put I have not put it there yet. So what I want to do is take this image right here. I want to go to edit. I want to cut it. Then I want to go to my background layer and we're going to edit. Then I want to paste it in place. So if you paste, if you just regular paste it, it's going to put it like anywhere. But if you go to edit and then paste in place, it's going to put it exactly where you got it from. Now, as you see, the background layer is over the text layer. So in order to get the background layer under the text layer, just simply click, hold, and drag this background layer down, and you will see the text layer in front of it. Now, before we do anything else, and what we should have done at first, so we won't lose our information or our changes made, we're going to go to File. We're going to go to Save As, and let's name this particular file Objects, because tonight we are working with objects. And hit Save. And so that way we save that, we do a save as, and we won't have to worry about, if something just happens, then we can just go back to our original file itself, which was the start file. Now let's go through some couple of elements. And before I go through those elements right now, because I know kind of like all over the place right now. If you see this arrow right here, and you click on graphics, each element on this graphics layer, if you click on the object itself, well, that's the text layer right there. And let's find a graphic. This is a graphic. And this is a graphic. And so it's going to show everything, each object itself. Now, if I click right here, this is an object. And this object is called Urban something, 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 Urban Oasis Garden Spring 2024. Say, for example, if I wanted to move this particular object behind the flower, and simply go in and just move objects up under it. Even with this right here, you can do it. And we've got to make sure that this is the object itself I'm selecting is the right one. Yeah, but this actual object, and I'll probably come back to this right here just to show you how that's easily manipulated. The text works the same way. It shows you everything, every piece of text or every paragraph frame box that's in here. In the background, of course, it only has one graphic on the background layer. So let's uncollapse these layers themselves. And I'm going to do an undo on most files with the exception of the background layer. So just make sure we have our background layer still in there. Okay, so we've named our file, and we've actually gone through how to actually work with the layers themselves. And let's go in and we're going to add a piece of text right here. Before we do that, we want to open up another file. File, open, and the file we want to open up is what the actual newsletter will look like in the end. So anytime you're working with these class files, we want to make sure that at the end that it looks just like the ending file. So based on everything that we have right now, this document has a lot of things we need and elements we need to add to it. So go to the end file. We want to add this piece of text right here. And even the end file right now, it's going to be in normal preview mode. And so what we want to do sometimes as well is show you what the guidelines are and how they work within each other as well. Okay, so let's add this piece of text right here that says featured blossoms. And so in order for us to add, we want to keep all our text on one layer and all our graphics and our images on another layer. So we go to layers, want to make sure we're going to lock this background first of all. So we want to make sure we add to that. And we want to go to our text, make sure that's selected. And then once we do that, we can go ahead and add our text. Now let's go to our type tool. In order to add text, we got to go to our type tool. We want to click right here on this guideline right here, upper left-hand corner. Drag it to right here. And we want to add, what was it again? Featured blossoms. Let's add featured blossoms. And when you go to the next line, hold your shift key down and hit enter. So you'll have a heart return. You type in blossoms. Now, let's get real specific with this. Right now, if we look in our properties palette panel, we will see that the size of this text box is 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. No, what aside that's the X and Y axis, but the width and the height is actually 2.925 by 1.3381. So we want to make sure that this box is the same size as this box right here. And the size of this box is 2.95. Click back on again. 2.95 by 0.611 inches. Now if we don't see our properties right here, we can always go down here and our properties come right here. It'll give you the same information if you click on it. It'll give you the x-axis. It is 1/2 inch from the left and 1/2 inch from the top, which is right here. And it gives you the width and the height of the particular box. So I want to make the side of the box 0.611 inches. And I'm just going to copy this. Or you can actually just go in and simply just type it in. Well, if I copy it, it's going to change the size of this box right here. So let's go to, in order to make our text, redo that resize right there. In order for us to make this text look like our other file text, we're going to go to our paragraph styles. And I think the lesson calls for us to select this text and put a particular paragraph style on it. So the paragraph style that we'll be using, we go to our paragraph styles right here. And like I said, you can also go to, I think it's type paragraph styles and make sure that's selected right there, which it is. We're going to go to a feature, one of the paragraph styles in here is called flush right, or right flush, something of the sort. Right flush title. So once we click on this, and these are pre-formatted paragraph styles that they already have in here. We click right here. It's going to bring it, give you that style. And we're going to just bring this down just a little bit here so we can see our featured blossoms right here. As you see, looks about right. And just to check it, our leading on this is size of the font is 26, 22. And we don't really have to go and change it because it should be still the same paragraph style, 26 and 22, which is correct. So, okay. And so that's how you use a paragraph style. If I was to come down here and use the same paragraph style on this text right here, on everything, and I hit right flush title, it's going to push that text as a right flush title. Whatever I have selected, that's what it's going to actually make it. So don't want to use that paragraph style on that particular one. We're going to get ready to work with that part anyway. So let me do that undo on that one. Okay, so that's how we get our title in there. Now what we want to do is we want to take this right here, this piece of text right here, and we want to make it 3 columns. Let's go to that layer, make sure we have our text selected. And once you select this text, we want to go to, one second. We're gonna make sure that all this text lines up to where it is 3 columns. And that is, we actually, it's called modifying a text frame. So as we look to modify that particular text frame, we're going to use our type tool. And I don't want to show the hidden characters, but what I will do is we have 1 column right now. Inside of this particular frame is 4.45 inches by 3.82 inches. And so once we get our 3 columns in there, as you see right here, there may be a little adjustment going on where we have to kind of like manipulate some things, but we're going to work with it. So select this box right here, choose object, and then we're going to choose text frame options. Now, if we want to fix our number of columns, we put the number of columns, so we want 3 columns, and we're going to leave the gutter as 0.125 inches, and then we hit OK. As you see, it's going to push everything from this column to this column, and whatever other overflowing text is going to push this column. So let's take this up just a little bit, and I think the height of this column is going to be, it's going to be the same height. What we want to do is I'm going to take this up just a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to hit return and move it to the next line where this title right here is up here. So just click behind that Foxglove, hit enter, and as you see, everything falls perfectly in line. And right now we're still in our text layer, so which is good. So we know we're moving in the right direction with that. So now we have another set of pictures that we need to drop in here. And so let's add this set of pictures. And this set of pictures call for 6 pictures, perfectly aligned and symmetrically with each other above these particular titles itself. And so everything's gonna fall in line with the red rose flower, the blue geranium flower, foxglove, the lily stargazer, crocus, and the calla lily. And so the way we're going to add our pictures is we're going to add all our pictures in at one time, as well as create the 2 columns and the 3 columns in the 2 rows. So how do we go in and we put add pictures? We go to file, as always, I'm going to place. Let's go to our lesson itself, lesson 4, and let's go to our links. And these are the flowers that we'll be adding. So instead of adding them one at a time, we're going to add them in all at one time. And so you can just click, hold, and drag across here, or click on one, hit your shift key, select that way, or you can just click them one at a time. You know how much time you have to invest in selecting pictures. You myself just like to drag across and add them all in that way. So we go to open. Once we go to open, it's going to have us say where you want to put your picture at, right here. So in order to add columns and rows, we're going to hit our up key on our keyboard, up 1 time, and then over 3 times. Once we do that, we're going to click. I think I did something wrong. Let me try that again. Let's just come back out of there. Let's come back out of there. Okay, yeah, that's what I did wrong. Okay, so what I do, okay, I did it wrong again. And this might be the most difficult part. Once you get it down, you've got it down. So yeah, once you get it down pat, you get it down pat. So let's try this one more time. One more time here. Yeah, make sure we have this graphics layer selected. So we definitely want to do that. So with our graphics layer selected, let's try it one more time. Try one more time. We're going to go to File, Place, select our files, open. As you're dragging, click. As you drag and click, up key once, right key twice. And as you see in those little boxes right here, it's got 6 of them. You can see right there in these little ones, it's got 6 boxes for the pictures added. So you simply drag all the way down, and it should have all 6 pictures in there. We're going to delete this, and we're going to do it one more time so we can make sure we got it right. File, Place, select our pictures, hit open, point to where you want your pictures to be added. As you click, hold your mouse. As you're dragging, up key once, right arrow twice, and then simply drag. Try it one more time, just to make sure. It's going to do a simple undo. And working with pictures, it can be a little tedious, like I said, but once you've got it down, then you've got it down, especially when you're doing a set of pictures like this. Okay, last time. We're going to go to File. We're going to go to Place. We're going to select our pictures. Hit Open. Click. Hold as we're dragging down. Our up key on our up arrow on our keyboard one time, and our right arrow on our keyboard twice. And it's going to give us those 6 boxes for all 6 of our flowers. Drag down to your desired place where the pictures need to be placed. Let go, and voila, all the pictures are in there. Now, if you want to work with each individual picture itself, because what we want to do is we want to make sure that we get these pictures, fill these boxes right here. So let's say, for example, we want to just work with this particular picture right here. Double click on until we see the yellow, the red lines. And I want to make sure it's proportionate with each other. Now, even though the picture is stretched out itself, and I'm holding my shift key down when I'm doing this, it's going to only just fill in this line itself. And you can do the same thing for the other pictures as well. Click right here. Click, hold, drag up. I'm gonna hold my shift key down. And it's going to just, fill that box in itself. As you see, your pictures will look like this here. Go through, follow the instructions, make sure that you get those pictures in there. This one as well. We shift key down, drag down, and boom, you're in there. Okay, so, and I'll let you go through and make sure you follow the lessons and manipulate, maneuver the pictures in that way. Now, there will also be some title adjustments over here at the top. And there will also be some you entering a image over here and having an object wrap around this text, as we see right here. You have to follow your instructions as per your assignment and go through and get those in there. Now, before we go, I'm going to show you one last thing about aligning these objects up and maybe rotating this right here. So anytime you want to just get an object rotated, let's see, they have the little hand shovel tomato in the pot, the tree in the sun. Let's just do one of them. And I'm going to show you how to add these up here, as well as align these objects up down here. So first of all, let's copy this right here. Let's click on it, Control C or Command C on the Mac, or edit, copy, edit, paste. Copy, paste that. We're going to place it up here. Now, I think the assignment calls for a 30. This is going to be rotated at a 30-degree angle, if I'm not mistaken. So we simply click on the object itself, and you can actually click on the right above one of the points where you see the curved arrow, the double arrow curved at the ends, and we can rotate it this way until we see 30, like right up here. This is where the angle, object angle tool is. And we're going to go to 30. Now, the easiest way to me, simply go in here and type in 30 itself. Hit enter. And so you're going to line all these objects, simply copy and paste them. Little hand shovel first, tomato second, the pot third, the tree fourth, and then the sunshine fifth. So now, what we want to do now is we want to align these particular objects up as so that's the way they have them right here. Now, if you notice closely over here, you know that a couple of these are actually smaller than the other ones. And we're going to get to that first. First of all, I just want to line these up. And you can either line them up on the actual file itself, or you can do it outside on pasteboard. I prefer the pasteboard because I can just select everything. And we're still working out layers on my graphics layer. So the way I like to line them up, I like to click, drag, select them all this way. And then we're going to go to our alignment tool. So, and sometimes you have to go in, and it doesn't look like I have my align tool in here. So we'll go to Window and where the align tool is, alignment palette, that is. So one second here. And we're gonna get these objects lined up here. We do want to have those objects aligned there. Okay, let's go back. So what we're going to do is we're going to select these all nine of these objects, and we're going to go to we're going to go to view. No, we're going to go to object. I just had it. Object and layout. And we're going to select align. It's going to bring up the align panel. And I just want to move it over here under the rest of this information. Once we select align, we have different various ways of selecting objects, of aligning up objects. So we want to make sure that everything is aligned to the right. And we'll do right there, we're going to select align right edges. I gotta make sure we have them selected first. And then align right edges. It's going to align everything at one time to the right. Now I need to bring my tomato over here. So let's say I select everything and I bring my, well, let's take the tomato back over there. I said, well, I forgot to add my tomato in there. Well, what I would do is I would simply select all these objects again, open shift key down, and then select tomato again, and then hit my line key. And it's going to line everything up that way. Now, we also have two objects that are smaller. So in order to get those bigger, we need to drag them to the right size. Now, instead of, doing one at a time, you simply select both of them by clicking on one, hitting your shift key, and then selecting the other one. And you can use one of these corners. Make sure you still hold your shift key down, drag them to the right size, and now they're all perfect, the same size, proportion size. Now, if we want to go back through, and they look like spaces are uneven in between some of them, so we can align them that way as well. And we will use this distribute objects feature right here in the vertical center. So go to my layers. I want to lock my background in my text layer. So if I don't lock my text layer, then this can be moved, the background over here. So I'll make sure I lock this one. Then I want to select my graphics. I just select it. And now I want to distribute under my line palette. I want to distribute these evenly. So we'll go to vertical, distribute vertical centers. And as you see, this space, all these gaps are going to close in and make sure all the graphics are evenly distributed. So once we click that, all our objects are evenly distributed. And we have conquered that particular part right there. So yeah, go in, make sure that everything is copacetic. Once you finish, preview it, make sure everything looks good on everything, make sure you've gone through all the instructions, and create a PDF, send it over, upload it to Brightspace, then we should be good to go on that. And like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. We'll get it worked out. And I will see you on next week.